What is going on? Welcome to the Sync Producer Spotlight. My name is Jason Dowty. Anybody who is joining this live stream probably is in the Sync Producer Hub, but maybe you're watching this on YouTube or something like that, and you have no idea what this show is about or what the Sync Producer Hub is. Just a quick explanation. The Sync Producer Hub is run by Anthony Clint Jr. He founded it. He found a way to developed a system, a program where you can get your music. If you're a music producer, you can get your music into TV and film and start building income that just pays you over and over again, which is a pretty cool thing. It's one of the best income streams you can have in music nowadays. Because you make the music once and it could get picked up for several different shows, right? That type of thing. And for anybody who's worried that maybe the market's saturated for that, if you ever look at a bunch of cue sheets, you're going to see that there are, 100, sometimes 150 cues per show of little pieces of music that they use. And you just have to be one or two of them, right? So it's pretty cool. I'm going to say what's up to everybody in the chat. Michael Connor, Phil DeReal. Welcome to the show, Jared Hudson Music. So today is a very special day for the Sync Producer Spotlight. So normally what we do is we take a member from the hub, we shine the spotlight on them, and we ask them questions about, how their journey's been so far, some of the successes that they've had, some of the lessons learned, their musical history, and things like that. Today, we have Anthony Clint Jr. himself. So he is going to be in the Sync Producer Spotlight. Um, and normally, what he does is on a Friday night, he will run a Sync Producer Hub show where he listens to everybody else's music and he lets them know exactly what they need to get sync ready. Sometimes it's already sync ready. Sometimes there's little formatting changes or changes to your mixes or something like that. But he spends the time to listen to all of our music, give us all of that feedback. And then even before that session, there's always a Q&A session where we can ask him any question that we want to help us get our music into TV and film, and he'll do that. Well, we're switching it up a little bit. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to let Anthony Clint Jr. himself be in the spotlight. We're going to find out about his musical journey, what's on the horizon for him, and we're actually going to listen to some of his music. So without further ado, let me bring him on. What is going on?
Yo, Jason, what's up, man? Oh, I gotta get my camera gotta get focused.
Yeah, a little fuzzy. It looks like when I have my glasses off right now. Oh, there we go. All right.
I don't know what that's about. It's still not focused.
It's focused on your Billboard awards. I don't know. It's really proud of the platinum record or whatever is behind you there.
I guess I gotta get. There we go. There we go.
All right. There we go. All right.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm a little nervous. I've never done this before.
Been interviewed?
Nah, listen, Jason, but first off, I appreciate you for creating this platform, Sync Producer Spotlight, to showcase like all the talent from our community. You're doing a phenomenal job in Sync as well, just absolutely crushing it. And I've been personally inspired just by hearing all the stories from the producers who've already been on this show. So it's an honor to be a guest and just share my experience in on this journey as well. So
All right, awesome. Well, thank you for that. As you know, we normally start off with going way back into time. What started you in music, and when did you fall in love with music?
Yeah, so I started in music for me around 5. I was a drummer. My dad was a drummer, just growing up in church. So we had like a drum set in our house. So I would just kind of always gravitate towards that, play that. A lot of musicians in my family. My grandma played piano, organ, sung, aunties sung, uncles, musicians, some of them sing. Mom sing, like it was just all in the family, right? So I was always surrounded by music, always in church. So it was like there was nothing else to do but to like play an instrument. That's how I kind of stayed entertained when I was younger. And I just continued to kind of, hone in on those skills. And that's where music kind of started for me. And my dad, I remember him just always having some type of new album in the house. We listened to a lot of jazz, a lot of listen to some classical stuff, gospel stuff. And like back in the day, he had one of those, you guys remember the magazines where you could do like the CD subscription thing and you would get a bundle of CDs. So he would do that and we would just get like a bunch of new music in, and that was always exciting for me to listen to, the latest albums and things like that. So that's where it started for me, man.
I remember that. I think it was Columbia House. Columbia
Yep.
House. Yeah, and then, you had to pay for those CDs later, though.
Yeah, you did. You
They made you think they were a penny.
Exactly.
Well, so are keys your main instrument, or was there some other instrument that you got into back in those days?
Yeah, so during that time, drums was the main instrument. Funny enough, but keys is my main instrument now. I did not want to play keys. Like my parents were trying to get me to play organ and keys. I took some keyboard lessons when I was younger. And I don't know, I didn't it just wasn't entertaining to me. Like it was on Saturday morning, I was missing cartoons. I was just like, yo, this ain't it. So they pulled me out of the lessons, and the instructor was mad dry. Like the dude was just not great with kids. Like it was like, bro, you are boring, man. I'm sorry. So I did that for a little bit, and they were still trying to push me. I was like, I don't really want to play. And then one year they decided to buy a keyboard, electronic keyboard. It was like a Casio something. The silver Casio had a bunch of speakers on it. During the time, I was like, yo, this is fire, bro. This is like the greatest thing ever. Cause you could like program little drums. It had like drum kits and things like that. It had little like preset songs and stuff in there. So I would just play around with that. It had a bunch of buttons. That was up my alley. I didn't like the organ. I was just like, this for old people. I don't want anything to do with that. I didn't know. I was ignorant. Now I love the organ B3, things like that. But during that time, it was the keyboard. It was electronic, had a screen on it, all these different sounds, and that is what kind of piqued my interest. And I would just play around with it, making beats, and then accidentally started learning chords. I had an uncle who played keys, so every time he would come over, he would see the keyboard, and then he'll start playing with it, and then I would get curious, and then he'll like show me a couple chords here and there. So every time he would come over, he would kind of show me some chords. So then I just take those 2, 3, 4 chords and just repeat those and then turn it into a beat. And then I started kind of playing for church services and things like that. Um, and then would take whatever I learned from that, put it in the beat. And then I started listening to CDs, and I would like hear something on the CD that caught my ear, and I would try and replicate it on keys. So this is like me early stages. I was around 15, 16 around this time,
Mhm.
picking up keys, and I would just try and pick it up by ear and like just piece the chord together note by note. I just keep rewinding until I got like the chord or the progression. And I just kept doing that and put it in my production. So it was like this cycle of learning new chords, putting it into a new beat, learning new chords, putting it into a new beat while also playing in church. And then I would have other, musicians just kind of show me new things. And then came across this old program on it was on PBS. Uh Man, what was it? It was like the Piano Man or the Jazz. It was some dude playing jazz piano, and he would hit some chords and some licks, and I was just like, oh, that's fire. And
Yeah.
I would sit, watch that show every time it came on, have my little keyboard in front of me, and I would just try and mimic what he was doing. And that was like me kind of just training myself, learning how to play by ear. And that's when keys kind of started becoming the main thing. My little brother ended up picking up drums, and then I just kind of shifted to keys. And from there, it was just like I just play keys now, just never look back. And then I'm like, yo, I wish I would have listened to my parents a little bit sooner. But it is what it is, man. It worked out, and now that's kind of like my main thing, and what I use to really push my production.
I think everybody probably in the hub and every musician out there has hit a part of their life where they just go into this, like, especially when they're young, where they just go into this sponge mode where it's just obsession and repetition, where you're just
Yes.
like in the zone, focused.
Yep.
Um, I Today's generation, I feel like it's harder for them because there's a phone in the way all the time. You know what I
Oh
mean?
man,
You
facts.
know? Yeah.
100%. Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, no, I didn't get a like a legit. I mean, I had a cell phone since like middle school, but it was bro, like it had numbers and that's it. Like there was no you call a number, that's it. It didn't even, you couldn't even text on that joint. So it was it was less of a distraction. And then it wasn't much to do where I'm from. Like I'm from Toledo, Ohio. So it was just like you either like played video games, played outside, played in sports, got in trouble, or did music. That was pretty much it. So,
Yeah.
nope.
Were you ever, because it seems like every producer I've talked to, and you may be a little younger than this generation, but everybody from my generation, like people that did music, were in some kind of group where they were like, the suave gentleman or the you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
did you ever do anything like that?
I wasn't in a group called the Suave Gentlemen, but so coming out of oh man, when was it? It was like coming out of high school into college. Me and my friends did create like a we had like a smooth jazz group. It was like this gospel jazz. I think we called ourselves Anointed DNA, and that was just like the first initials of our name. And like my one of my friends, he had like an uncle or something that had some connections on the West Coast or whatever, and like he had heard it. So then we like did this whole album and used like this CD the CD maker print thing. It was crazy, but we did that. We did that for a while. It was a few of us. I played keys. One was on sax, the other one was on keys. Later on, we added a drummer and a bass player. And then in college, I think we probably did some gigs for like a solid year, and then that was pretty much it.
Alright. Just
Yeah.
wondering if you went down that road for a minute. It was
Yeah.
to get the women, I mean, that's what it was for, back back
Oh
in
yeah.
those days.
Yep.
Alright, cool. So, alright, so let's go back then. Okay, you did the jazz album, you were Anointed DNA for a little bit. And then,
Hilarious.
you was this in Toledo or was this
Yeah, it was like in
okay,
between Toledo and Columbus. Yeah.
okay, alright. And then you went to school?
Yep. Went to the Ohio State University. That's when I moved to Columbus in 2005. So I graduated 2005, moved to Columbus 2005, and went to the Ohio State University for 5 years.
Okay.
Yep.
There's some good football that comes out of there. I don't know if
Oh,
you know that
we're
or not.
we're we're champions, like multiple years. Come on, man.
Were you in the band there? Did you do, like, jazz band or anything?
No, I didn't. So I was not in the band. I was so when I went there, I kind of knew what I wanted to do already, like just off rip. And I remember having a meeting with my counselor at the time because at first, it, during this time, computer engineering was the thing, right? So like, if you wanted to make money, come out of college with like a solid career, computer engineering was the thing. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna pick that. Man, I took one
Oh.
programming class and I said, this isn't for your boy. I gotta figure something else out. But I knew I wanted to do production. I knew I was gonna do that anyway. I just wanted to secure the bag as far as the degree was concerned. So
Yeah.
took that programming class. I said, this isn't it. Went to my counselor. I said, look, this is what I want to do. I want to start my own production company one day. I want to own a business. Do you have any majors or minors or anything in terms of like music production that will help me on that journey? She was just like, no, like they didn't have any music production course at this time. If you wanted to major in anything music related, it was through the School of Music. It would be like performance, or
Yeah.
some theory, or something else, right? So she was just like, we don't have that, but if you're like interested in the business, you can either go through the School of Business, or you could go through the College of Human Ecology, where they kind of focus more so on marketing, consumer family financial management, stuff like that. So I was just like, okay, let's do that. So I went through human ecology and took those courses, but was still I took like a history of jazz class. I would take electives that I feel would kind of help on my journey to, becoming a producer one day.
Okay.
However, I did play for the African American Voices Gospel Choir at The Ohio State University, and that was where a lot of my growth as a musician happened. And that's where I learned from a lot of super dope, talented key players. Shout out to my guy Dan. He showed me a ton of things as a keyboard player. So I'm forever grateful for him. And shout out to my guy Herb shout out to my aunt. My aunt, actually, when I moved down there, she introduced me to the choir director, Herb, and was just like, yeah, nephew plays keys, blah blah blah. And then did like an audition, and then they brought me on as one of the key players for that choir. So yeah, so a lot of growth happening for me.
Yep, and, in the, I always ask everybody to, like, fill out a form before they come on the show to see if there's anything they wanna talk about. Is that the same choir that you have a future collaboration with?
Yes, yes, I
Okay.
am, yeah, currently in the works. It's a like a full circle moment for me, because a publisher reached out and they wanted us to do we're working on a gospel hip hop album. Shout out to Phil DeReal. He's helping me out with that, as far as rapping and some of the production as well. But they wanted an actual choir, and I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to reach back to like the choir where I honed like all of my skills as a musician, and just be a cool way to collaborate with some of the the alumni. It's like an alumni version of the choir. So I'm really excited about that. And when that comes together, it'll be fun. So
That's amazing. That's
yep,
awesome. And I wanna shout out Phil DeReal. Um,
the beast, man.
he is a beast. He is working. I asked so I got a bite on, the sports album I've been working on.
Nice.
I was like, I had some instrumentals, and I hit him up, and I was like, "Do you wanna do one of these?" There's 3 of them. He did all 3 in, like, I don't know, like, less than a week.
Yeah,
Like, he's like, "I'm sorry they're so late. I had to work this 17-hour shift." Like, that man works.
yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah, yeah. So, I'm excited to see where his career takes him and how big he's gonna get. So,
Love it.
and I'm glad he's working with you on that. That's amazing.
Yeah, man.
All right. So, you got a degree in what was it? The marketing and human something.
Consumer and family financial services is
Yeah,
the degree. Yep.
I haven't heard of that degree. All right.
Yeah.
Is there
most
anything? Yeah.
most people haven't. They're like, what?
Is there something from that degree that you've taken into like your career now, or was it mainly a waste of time?
Absolutely nothing. It's a complete waste. No, I'm playing. Like there was like, there were some takeaways. Like I took there was like a legal class, a law class. I took there was like marketing and consumer behavior classes, which I use in what I do just in business and things like that. So that stuff was helpful. I think I probably still have like even one of the notebooks with notes from that stuff. I took an economics class, which, man, I struggled with that. I took it like 2 or 3 times. Um, but I took that, and I guess that was helpful. There were some things that clicked eventually in that class. Um, what else? What were some other classes? Yeah, I think those are like the core curriculum that kind of helped. Everything else was just like, you know. I
Yeah.
forgot most of it.
All right, so we have some of your music to play here, but before we jump into that, I want to get you from Ohio to Atlanta.
Okay.
So
Okay.
what you graduated college
Yeah.
or university, you have this degree. Where did you go from there and what made you go to Atlanta?
Man, so
I know
uh
that's a 2-hour question.
yeah, nah, it's funny, man. So I kind of I reached a crossroad probably like my senior year where or my like fifth year because I was there 5 years where I didn't really know I didn't know what I wanted to do next, man. I was just like, yo, I'm about to be done. I'm about to have this degree. Do I stay here? Do I go back home to Toledo? There's nothing in Toledo. Like, it's not a lot of jobs. So I was like, I didn't really see that as an option. Even though it's always an option, right? So it's just like stay here, go home, or go to, a city where there's more of a music scene since that's what I want to do. Um so I was just like, man, I got a decision to make. So I just really locked in. I got focused, and was just like, I need to figure this out. So I want to say maybe a couple years before I graduated, I took a trip to LA, went to the road rally for the Sync conference out there. And LA was nice. I was just like, man, I may need to come out here. And I got a chance to hang out with um somebody else who's like in the like entertainment industry out there. And he was just like, yeah, bro, like you'll kill it out here. So after I did that, I kind of made LA my goal for after I graduated. And then I was just like, okay, once I finish college, I'll work, take the summer, save up, and I'll just move to LA. I was single, didn't have kids, wasn't tied down to anything. So I was just like, I'll just get up and just move. I don't know, I was fearless, man. I didn't really care. My mom was like, you sure you want to you just gonna go all the way over there? I was like, yeah, like why not? Um, so that was the plan. Graduate, work, go to LA. So I graduated, I started working, found me a decent little job, and like my savings wasn't like saving like I thought it was going to save in order to afford living in LA, especially once I started looking at those prices. And then I ran into another friend that I knew from high school because he lived out there for a while, and he was like, yeah, bro, like he was like, man, I think like my rent at the time, he was saying it was over man, like $1,100 for a one bedroom apartment, and he said that joint was like in the middle of the hood, and he was just like, I try I try and be in before dark. I was just like, fam, like that is, yeah, that's a lot to be able to, or to be like, fearing for your life like that. And at this time I think I was paying, man, I don't even know if I don't even think I was paying like 300 a month for rent. Like rent was very, very cheap. For where I was at. It was like a two-bedroom. Um, so yeah, I didn't save up enough money to go to LA. However, in between working during the summer and, you know, whenever that move was supposed to happen, let's say at the end of the summer, I had gotten to a situation where I was online. Again, I was locked in, I was focused. I sold, my video game system, sold my TV. Like the only thing I had in my apartment was um production equipment. So every night after work, and every morning before work, because I worked second shift, I would produce music and I would go on Ustream. It was back in the day, it was called Ustream, and I would just stream myself producing music. So my guy Scrap had came in. He was a producer, produced for a bunch of people: Akon, Justin Bieber, Usher, Whitney Houston. And he had came in. We would just like chop it up. I would drop in his streams, he would drop mine, and we would just kind of support each other. It was kind of like a little community with producers on Ustream. It was a few of us where we would just kind of tap in with each other. And one day I was working on like this neo soul R&B joint, and he was like, in the stream, and like on his end, he's just like humming, singing, stuff like that. He's like, "Yo, this is Music Soul Child like all day. Like I just wrote something. Send it to me when you're done. I'm gonna finish up the song." So then he sent it back, and then like within that week, he had laid like demo vocals, but then ran into an exec, I think randomly, um, at the gas station or whatever. Long story short, he ended up getting a meeting and getting in the studio with Music Soul Child to cut this song. So at that point, I'm working in the summer, working in this factory, and I have a potential Music Soul Child placement in the works, and he's like recording to my music. So I'm just like going through this whole experience, like just kind of, I can't talk about it, like nobody knows at this point, like nobody knows what's going on. I'm just like still kind of living my life, doing my thing, and this opportunity is happening in the background. So that started to shift because my money wasn't adding up to afford LA. Atlanta was way more affordable, and all of this was happening in Atlanta while I'm still in Columbus. So I was just like, man, maybe I should move to Atlanta. It's more affordable. It's not that far of a drive or flight or whatever. And I'll just, just kind of set up shop there. So that's what kind of gave me that nudge to just come down to Atlanta, and do that. I knew a few people down here. I had some family down here, had an uncle, so I had visited before I ended up making the move, and connected with a few people, and connected with some artists before I moved down there. And then soon as I got down here, like I had some work with a couple artists I was producing, independent artists. um was doing collaborations and stuff with that. The Music Soul Child record didn't end up getting placed because we kind of got caught in the middle of Music Soul Child beefing with his label and all that stuff, because he was trying to do what he wanted to do and trying to get away from the traditional Music Soul Child sound. And we kind of got caught in the middle of that. So never happened. Um, the song actually ended up getting leaked. The demo ended up getting leaked, and it wasn't even the final version. But it's on YouTube somewhere floating around. It's called The Formula. Was it The Formula of Love or The Formula to Love? I think it was The Formula of Love. If you type that, The Formula of Love, Music Soul Child, that's the one that kind of, you know, introduced me to the major music industry. And that's the demo. So you'll hear Scrap singing the demo vocals. And even that version, we ended up switching it to a 4/4, because that was in traditional 3/4, which Music Soul Child typically does with all of his love song hits. But we ended up switching it to 4/4. So somehow that version ended up getting leaked. But yeah, that's what kind of made me move. And then once I finished up, um, well, I actually resigned from the job I had, and told them, hey, this last 2 weeks, I'm moving to Atlanta next month. And at that point, I packed up everything that could fit in my car and hit 75 South, and just didn't look back, man. And I've been down here ever since.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Ustream sounds like a fake YouTube that they would play on a show. You know what I mean? I never heard of Ustream before.
It was popping, man. Like
Yeah.
it was where you would go to stream, because I don't even think YouTube had like streaming capabilities at this time. It was just only videos. Like you record a video, you upload it. But
Yeah.
Ustream was like where you would go to just stream live.
No, I mean, it
So yeah.
makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I found the video and I posted it in the chat. Music Soul Child, The Formula of Love.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
posted by John Martin. I don't know who
Random.
that is. Yeah, or somebody that
Nobody
got
does.
that demo. I think I found it, so I posted it in the chat. Somebody will let
Cool.
us know if those are your keys on it or not. But hey, one thing I think that we have in common is we both learned the lesson that just because you work with famous people doesn't mean you get any of the money.
Yeah.
So I could see how you got into sync. So speaking of sync, let's hop into your first song. So I got 3 songs here. I
Okay.
got "Watch Me Win," "Step on Toes," and "Because of You." Which one would you like to do first, and what can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so Watch Me Win, I literally finished like 2 days ago. So
Okay.
this was fun. This is a collaboration between Chelsea Locklear in the Sync Producer Hub, Michael Connor in the Sync Producer Hub, and
Okay.
Bronx in the Sync Producer Hub. They were all in the TV Placement Mastery, the last TV Placement Mastery. And somebody in there just blurted out this random idea. It's like, oh, we should just all do like a class collab. And I was just like, you know what? I've never done that. We should do that. So
That's
then we
awesome.
did that. And then this is what came of it. And I literally just pitched it to a music supervisor, like literally sent the email out like today.
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna pitch it. We're gonna try and see if we can get it placed, man.
Awesome, awesome. Hold on, let me find the right tab to share real quick. I don't know why I'm not finding it. Oh, here we go, here we go. Alright, share audio. Gotta make
Dope.
sure I share audio. Okay, here we go. So let's start with "Watch Me Win."
Watch me win with my eyes closed. Someone changed the alphabet. I went and took a W. Stepping up to me's getting eye to eye with altitude. Never back down attitude. Metal stack make me a pedestal. To bet on me's a sure thing. This is all I know. I can't lose. I need no intro. Solid like Flintstone. Trying to get like me. You best break a wishbone. What didn't kill me gave greatness a window. You won't find it. Watch me win with my eyes closed. Watch me win. Watch me win. Watch me win. Watch me win. Top dog, all bite, all dubs, L's like no sleep, all night, all good, all right. Top dog, all bite, all dubs, L's like no sleep, all night, all good, all right. I need no intro, solid like Flintstone. Trying to get like me, you best break a wishbone. What didn't kill me gave greatness a window. You won't find it. Watch me win with my eyes closed. Watch me win with my eyes closed.
You ain't winning this when I'm here. I'm your competitor's greatest fear. I put in the hours, it's hard work. I built something from nothing straight out the dirt. Close with the beast in the game, I'm just the best in the game, If you think you can see me, let me close my eyes and win boldly.
I need no intro, solid like Flintstone. Trying to get like me, you best break a wishbone. What didn't kill me gave greatness a window. You won't find it.
Yeah, watch me win. Watch me win. Watch me win.
With my eyes closed. Watch me win.
Yeah.
Woo! Alright, hold up.
J horn, let's go.
It always
Love it.
takes me a minute. I gotta, like, stop the thing and then find the horn. It takes a second, but man, that was incredible.
Yeah, man.
It had that whole, like, cinematic pop heavy bass, like, I that's all you hear in, it's like a feature in a motion picture, like, full-blown motion picture for that one.
Yeah, man. Indeed, man. They crushed it. It was fun. And yeah, we had a good time creating that. So I'm excited to see where it ends up.
Yeah. I know who did the strings.
I was gonna say, can you guess who was on strings?
No,
Yeah.
that was incredible. Alright, awesome. Okay. So the, this is the first time you've ever done a group collab with them. Do you think you'll be doing that in the future if you had, the more of, why can't I remember the name of
TV pla
extra mentoring? Yeah,
TV
TV placement
placement
mastery.
mastery. Yeah, it's
Do you think
possible.
you'll do
Like,
that again?
yeah, it's definitely likely. This one worked out well because I keep those groups small intentionally, so it works out because it's not like like if there was like 10 people, it'd be kind of hard to do. If we did that, we would just have to like pair it into like a couple different groups or something like this. But this was easy because splits were easy. It's 4 people. It's not complicated. So it worked out, man, for sure. So yeah, great idea.
Awesome, awesome. So I guess that brings up the next question. I normally do kind of a past, present, futures thing with this interview, but let's hop to the future.
Yeah.
Like, you have built an amazing community, and it's been years in the making.
Yep.
You've empowered a lot of people. What else could you do? Like, what are you excited about for the future, and what do you think? Where do you think you're going to take this program?
Yeah, man. So, Sync Producer Hub, honestly, man, it's still young. Really, we're like a little over a year or approaching 2 years, like in April or something like that.
Hmm.
Um, so it's still young, but from what I've seen, man, it's it's there's so much potential, right? I was talking to you all inside the community about bringing more sync opportunities just directly to the community, and how that's shaping up is, the publishers kind of um looking to us as just like a hub to where it's just like, hey, if we have a need, let's send it to this guy. He has a whole community that can back us up on these briefs and opportunities. And, with the knowledge that we're sharing inside the hub, we can leverage all of our skills and collaborate. And what I see is being able from the music perspective and the placement perspective, being able to bring opportunities inside the hub, and then like creating teams like, hey, boom, let's put together some teams and like tag team different things. um we were able to share an opportunity that came up earlier this year where it was just like, boom, here's the brief, and like, bro, like we crushed it, you know what I mean? Like we were able to get man, I think we had like close to like, I don't know, to like 15 to 20 tracks or something we were able to submit for that brief. So that's extremely valuable from a client perspective to where they can just go to one place. So I believe we'll be able to build up a ton of value and create opportunities for our community just by being a dependable community that executes at a high level. So I see more opportunities like that happening in the future. I see like just leaders rising up inside the community, and just kind of, maybe even like leading, certain projects where it's just like, hey, I'll let this person, kind of manage this project and like put teams together and just make it like this fun collaborative thing where not only are we learning, like you can get information anywhere now, right? We have AI, we have like everybody and their dad with a course or video on YouTube, and like you can get that anywhere. But I feel like what makes this community special is just like, yeah, we have the information, we know how, but execution is everything now, right? So can you execute on the information that you've learned, and can you like deliver a finished product that the client would like? So I see that growing, a lot of opportunities there. And yeah, like also I see it as an opportunity too for producers to grow their music production businesses and add additional streams of income. Just even our community is built to where if you invite another producer in, you get commission on that so that you can earn monthly revenue as well. So it's just like basically like this ecosystem to where all the producers in it can support each other and also support themselves and their family. So that's what I kind of see it being in the future, is just like this massive ecosystem of just opportunity and income generation.
That's amazing. That, there's no telling how far that could go, you know what I mean? So, and I think yeah, I agree. There's a lot of leaders in the group already, that are working, like,
Yep.
with that consistency that you need to make something like that happen.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
can bring in the relationships that they have, to help support the community as well, so, yeah, who knows how far that could go, that's amazing.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Let's hop into I don't know how much time you have, so I do wanna make sure we hit all of your music. If we
Yeah.
go a little above an hour, are you okay with that?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Alright, alright. I work in my day job, I, run a team of people that, on phone calls, like,
Okay.
they're making phone calls, and, we have, like, this, framework where, if you're gonna go over time, you gotta put a timestamp in and make sure they know that so,
Nice. Got you.
it's a habit I've built, I guess. But anyway, the next one, it's Step on Toes or Because of You. Which one would you like to play next?
Let's do what is Step on Toes? Oh, this was one it's gotten placed like a lot, like just on like Netflix and TMZ has used it a ton.
Mhm.
And yeah, I wanted to share this one because it's one that just kind of picked up momentum over the past few years. So yeah.
When you made it, were you like, "This is my favorite track I've ever made," or were you like, "Just another track?"
You know what, man? At this one thing I've learned in producing music for sync is I have completely stripped away the the emotional attachment to my music. So like I don't think I ever like don't get me wrong, like when I'm creating it, I'm like, oh, like this is dope. I'm enjoying it. And there's like those tracks which is like, oh man, like this is dope. I listen to it. And then when like once it's out, once deliverables are sent, I may listen to it a couple more times and then I'm on to the next. So I don't really get attached or feel like, oh man, like this isn't my best one or this is the best one ever. This is going to get placed a ton. I just kind of make it. I get to a point to where it's like, this is done. This is complete. Send it. And then that's just it. That's just kind of how I've been approaching it over the past several years. Because you just never you never know, man. I've learned so many times that like the track that I took, 2 hours max on ends up getting placed the most. And then the one I spent like a whole week trying to fine tune the mix, the thing is still sitting waiting for somebody to use. So, I just try not to get too emotional about it.
Alright. Cool, well, let's do it. Hold on, let me share the screen.
All right.
Step on Toes, let's go. There's always a little delay for the horn.
I love the graphic too. That's funny.
That's dope. One thing I love about your production, and I think I could definitely take a lesson, and there's probably a few others that could, is you don't over instrument it, and you
Mm,
give every instrument its space.
mm.
Sometimes I do that where I'll produce a track and I'll have too much going on, and I'll just start stripping away things that aren't needed and just get it down to the bare bones. How do you approach your production? Do you kinda take that approach, or how do you do that?
Yeah, I had to learn that. That was a big struggle for me early on. Shout out to Scrap. He kind of mentored me in that. Even through the Music Soul Child situation, I would send him tracks. He's like, "Bro, you got like 17 sounds in here." He's like, "I'm about to take this out, this out, this out." He's just like, "Cause I don't have any room to write vocals." And that was a big lesson for me. With like, I would have writers come into the session. They're like, yo, it's like the track is done. Like the instrumental, like the melody is fire, but it was just like it's just too done. So I was like, okay. So I just started taking mental notes and just kind of stripping things down to the point where there's a chord structure, there's maybe one additional sound or pad that sits up underneath that chord structure, and then there's a main melody, and then maybe like a counter melody that I can use in and out of the verses. And that's kind of like where I keep it. Everything else is just, you know, like ear candy stuff, right? It may be like a little transitional element or drums. Drums I don't really worry too much about overproducing those because it's just rhythmic. But as far as like the melodic stuff, the chords and the melodies, then that's where I kind of had to learn to tone it down and just give it give it space.
Yeah,
So
that's great. I gotta do more of that. So
yeah.
sometimes you forget that, because you just hear so many dope things that could go in it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think we've all been there.
For sure.
All right. Um, One thing I wanted to talk about was we recently saw you in an ad for school, the platform.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I was checking that out and I was like, oh crap, that's Clint. And he's on a school ad,
Yeah.
and Alex Hermosi runs that, right? Does he own that
So
company or
Sam Ovens is the founder, and then Alex Hermosi it's kind of like partners with him as well. So he's like a partner or whatever in it.
okay.
So yeah, yep, dope platform.
Have you ever thought about I mean, you have a great vision for this community, right? Working with music libraries or music supervisors directly, leveraging the talent and all of that.
Hmm.
Have you ever thought about partnering with I mean, I know like you partnered with Jay Will, for the conference and things like that. Or do you ever think of any other partnerships or any other partnerships kind of on the table or you're considering?
If it makes sense, it always has to make sense to me. It has to bring value not only to myself but also the community. And I'm very, very picky on who I partner up with. Um, and I'm very protective over my time as well. Every partnership, every check is just not worth it to me. I value the time I have. I value the freedom and decision making that I have, and I have fun doing like what I do every day, right? Between producing music, between, building Sync Producer Hub and engaging in there. It's enjoyable. So I'm very, very careful on, what companies I partner with because I don't want to take that away. And I never want to feel like I don't want our community to feel like this place where like offers are constantly being shoved down people's throat. You know what I mean? Like it just that can happen sometimes when you start working with corporations and things like that. Um it's just it can become about like the bottom line, and I feel like that can really taint a community. So I'm very, very careful on who I partner up with and how, because I want to maintain that vibe and that feeling. So if it makes sense, if it brings value to everyone, and if it's something that could be, beneficial for everyone, I consider. But I say no to more things than I say yes to. Yeah.
Well, I can say as a member of the community that that's refreshing and appreciated. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, and I think that's what's helping this community bond and grow is that it's all about, each other, the music, making it happen, learning the lessons and all of that. So I think we all appreciate it. At
Yeah.
least I do. I'm sure some other
Thank you.
people in the chat will also appreciate it.
Indeed. Indeed.
There were a lot of fire emojis when your music was playing. I forgot to put those up, but
Oh, thanks, y'all. Like, listen, give me some feedback. I want to get better too.
No, nothing but fire. You got no feedback. I don't
Dang
see any
it.
feedback.
I'm always reviewing y'all's music, man. So it's fun to be on the other side. So this is dope.
Hey, now's your chance. We're gonna play one more song,
Okay.
and if you have any criticisms that you wanna throw this way,
Yes, please.
he's open to hear
I'm
them.
open.
Yeah,
Open.
he's gonna consider the source, but feel free to share. All right. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the next one. Because of You, Jay Nicole. What do you want us to know about that one?
Yeah, shout out to Jay Nicole and Larry Edwards. They are the songwriters on here. Jay Nicole is the co-songwriter and vocalist. So funny story about this. I know a lot of people ask me, like, where do you find talent from? When you're looking for artists to sing or rap over your productions. I'm on social media a lot. Like, if I come across talent, I'll reach out to them. And this was an example of that. Some years ago, man, it might have been around, I don't know if COVID hit yet or if it was like around that time, but it was the app called Voicey. There was just a lot of singers like singing in their little like iPad, iPhone mics or whatever. And I came across a video of hers and she was just crushing. I was like, bro, she's killing it with the vocals. And I was just like going through her profile, and then I was just like, it sounds like these are like she's writing some original stuff too, which is what I'm always looking for. Because anybody can like sing a cover, but it's like, can you write as well? So I went to her Instagram page, and it looked like she was already following me, which I was like, oh, dope. So this will be an easy reach out. So I reached out to her and asked, like, hey, do you write as well? Because like your vocals are fire. And she was like, yeah, like, me and my writing partner, Larry, like, we write and stuff like that. Would love to collab on some stuff. So I was just like, bet, like, I'll send you some tracks. You guys can write to them, do your thing. And we did that. So we've worked on a few things. They've had music placed on, Love Island, some stuff on some other stuff on Netflix. And then this was one of the songs. This one, I don't think this one has been placed yet. I actually just pitched this. We wrote it a few years back, but now I'm kind of going back into that catalog and like repitching things. So I just pitched this, hoping that we can get it on something like Love is Blind or something like that. Some type of love relationship show that's just kind of talking about, the challenges of relationships and heartbreak, stuff like that. So this is like an R&B song along those lines. So yeah, that's how this one happened.
That's incredible.
Yep.
I have some questions about social media after we play this song, but I'm going to let you know that Aaron Island already says it needs more cowbell.
Cowbell. Okay, got you. Got to get that cowbell in there.
All right, let me go ahead and share my screen.
Cool.
All right, this one is Because of You. Let's go.
I know that you hate that I remind you of everything that you can't have. And I know that you think about the way that you did me so bad. And I know that you hate when I don't act like I'm fake, but no type of way. Don't hold a grudge, act like I don't give a. You were just a lesson that I had to learn. Mama said that if you play with fire, then you might get burned. Guess I had to learn it all the hard way, but it made me who I am today. So thank you for being everything that I never needed. And you were the reason that I move the way I move, and I do the things I do. You were a lawyer, you were an honest. I'm messing with you, just to be honest. I don't regret it, forgive you, but I don't forget it. So thank you. It's all because of you. I learned my lesson all the things that you did to me, and I'll only give my time to what's meant for me. You were just a lesson that I had to learn. Mama said that if you play with fire, then you might get burned. Guess I had to learn it all the hard way, but it made me who I am today. So thank you for being everything that I never needed, and you were the reason that I move the way I move, and I do the things I do. You were loyal, you were honest. I'm done messing with you, just to be honest. I don't regret it, forgive you, but I don't forget it. So thank you, it's all because of you. It's all because of you. It's all because of you.
Damn. All right,
Let's
hold on.
go.
Let's go. All right, I have a few questions about that. Lots of compliments in the chat.
Thank you.
Um, I'm a sucker for good background vocals, like harmonies, all of that.
Mhm.
I grew up on Take Six and
Oh,
Tweet,
yeah. You get
like
it. Oh,
artists
yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
Um, did she arrange those background vocals, her and her writing partner?
they did. Yep.
Did they send you the vocals raw or did they tune them first?
They tuned it like, they do their thing to their vocals, and
Okay.
then pretty much I have the option, like, they can send them dry, or they could kinda, add their effects and things like that, which I tend to prefer to work with people who can kinda do that, kinda process their own vocals, um, and then I can just kinda, if I need to add anything to it or throw a little effect in there production wise, I can do that. But it just makes the whole process easier because they know how they like their vocals to shine. They know what EQ works good for their voice. So it just makes the whole process easier. Then I just drag them to the session and then bounce everything out from there.
Yeah, it is nice when they do that. I've definitely worked with singers before where I had a lot of work to do in Melodyne or, a tool like that.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you don't have a if you're not doing that every day, that can be time consuming, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, for sure.
I'm glad they could send them over like that.
Yeah.
Aaron Island, I'm pretty sure he agrees it's the right amount of cowbell on that one. So for social media, I get the one question that I did have about social media is, because I feel like, social media is just your phone in general is one of those things where if you consume it, it just like drains your dopamine and it takes away all your productivity. So,
Mhm.
like, do you find a balance or do you only use your phone to be productive? Or like, how do you approach that type of stuff?
Yeah. My rule of thumb is produce more than you consume. And that's like with everything, right? Only the producers, like outside of production, I'm just talking about being productive. Like it's the producers who benefit from anything the most, right? If you just look at just in general, in just life, man, like people who are producing things are the ones that are winning. And if consumption overtakes production, um then that's when it'll just go south for you, right? And you're just doom scrolling and you're not being productive, and you're watching someone else be productive and win with the tools, right? So I see social media as a tool. um I'm not on there for personal reasons, right? I'm on there on purpose. And, I like to be in control of, you know, what's on there, what I'm doing on there. So if I'm on any social media platform, it's for a purpose. So, I I set it to where a lot of things are automated, or handled by somebody on my team so that I don't have to be on there all the time, because even if you're on there on purpose, you already know, like, you just, next thing you know, you watching a video about tacos and they look good, and then you scroll into the next one, and you just, next thing you know, you in the kitchen like making this recipe that you seen on Instagram. So I try to limit myself by having that stuff kind of automated, and then I'll check in from time to time. And then when it's time to work, I'll set it up to where like my phone is in focus mode, to where that app isn't like easily accessible or available on my screen.
Mhm.
That helps a lot. And that just keeps me in more of a productive mode. So I always just try and be on there for a reason and not just scrolling aimlessly, because it can be a huge distraction, and kind of suck away from your productivity.
I gotcha. Yeah. I was just curious because I wasn't sure if you just stumbled upon that artist or if you were purposefully looking for artists, you know what
I
I
was
mean?
looking. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause I was just like, yeah, I was looking for writers. So I was just like, I want to do more full songs. And then sometimes I may have a brief that comes up and it's looking for a certain type of style. So at that time it was Voicey. So Voicey, it was just a bunch of singers. So I'm just scrolling, and it's like when something catches my ear, boom, I'll make a note, reach out, and go from there. So yeah. Yep.
Alright. Well, we have our own ringer in the community with Chelsea.
Go.
I don't know if she's open to collab, but maybe she is, you know? Yeah, that's cool. Alex from our community, Alexander, the one that kinda gives us the recap every week and
Yeah.
owns he has his own trap beat community. He's got really good methods for finding new artists to work with as well. So, you can
Nice.
always tap him in the community in Sync Producer Hub uh,
Dope.
if you want some methods. He's got a way with like Spotify and Instagram that he finds us a ton of artists. So,
Nice.
all right. So, one other question I have for you is you mentioned something before we hopped on here. You were talking about a 50th birthday mashup for the Ohio State University.
Oh yeah.
What's that
Another
about?
another full circle moment, man. So that was so I told you, I was talking to the counselor. I was like, listen, this is what I want to do. So fast forward, shoot, 2015, I'm in Atlanta. By this time, I have some TV placements under my belt, and the university I graduated from actually became a client. And I was asked to produce a mashup for our mascot Brutus the Buckeye's 50th birthday celebration. So it was like this big thing. And they were creating like a birthday video or something for him. So they pretty much wanted me to take all of the like popular uh fight songs that we would sing and stuff like that, and like create just like this whole little mashup, and you know do that. So that was an opportunity that just kind of came full circle by being able to produce some music from the university I graduated from.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
I'm
dope.
from Oklahoma originally,
Okay.
and we have a university called Oklahoma University with the Sooners,
Hmm.
and nobody knows what a Sooner is, but it's
What,
what it is.
bro? What is a Sooner, please? Because I've been wondering all these years.
A Sooner, it's messed up. It's messed up what it is. A Sooner is in like 1889. They opened up the what was called the Indian Territory back then because they had moved all the Native Americans from where their homes were and
Mm,
forced them to live in Oklahoma.
mm,
And then they were like, you know what? We're going to open up the land so all the other people can go in there and claim their land, right?
mm.
So Sooners were people that jumped the gun, went into Oklahoma early and staked their claim too early.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's what they're named after.
How do you come up with that as a
I don't.
as a college mascot? That's
It,
hilarious. So what is the mascot there? Do you guys
it's
have like a
it's the Sooner Schooner, and it's like horses driving a covered like Pioneer type of buggy type of thing.
this is getting worse by the
Yeah,
minute.
they need to change. But the reason I'm bringing that up is I don't know what a Buckeye is.
You
I don't
don't
know
know what
what
a buckeye is?
yeah, what's a Brutus the Buckeye? What is this?
So funny thing, I went to this orientation, and they were literally breaking down like a buckeye and trying to make trying to make this thing sound way more dangerous than what it really is. Um, so it was like this whole story. But anyways, a buckeye is like there's a certain type of tree, and these buckeyes grow on the tree. They're actually on the university, on the campus. But yeah, they grow on the tree. It's like depending on the season, they make a candy based off of them too, where it's just like chocolate and peanut butter, but it's just like this little buckeye or seed or whatever. And then it's just like a little brown kind of hole. You can Google it.
Okay.
And they just kind of fall from the trees at a certain time of the year. And the story was like, um, I think it was made up or something about these things kind of falling down and hitting people, and they were like killing people. Somebody died, so they was like, so technically, like we're like a killer nut. So that was just like the the joke behind a buckeye being a killer nut.
Oh my god.
Yep.
And they named
So
one Brutus, alright.
yep, Brutus the Buckeye.
Alright. Damn, okay, I gotta look this up, I gotta see what Brutus looks like in a
Mm,
picture, alright.
yeah, man.
Alright, that's all the questions I have for you. I appreciate your time. It's good, like, that we get a chance to instead of asking you how we can get our music into, like, TV and film,
Yeah,
we could just ask you some other questions, so it's kind of and it's refreshing to hear your music.
yeah,
So
indeed, man. Thank you.
any before I do the kind of to let people that might be watching this that aren't as familiar with the Sync Producer Hub and what it is there any like parting words or anything you want to say before I hop into that part?
Yeah, man. Like keep crushing it, bro. Like if you just stick with it long enough, things will eventually happen. I feel like those who win are the ones who just don't give up. Like you can't fail if you don't give up. So that's all I've done, man, over these years, over a decade of kind of working in this space. Is I wasn't always like the best producer, I'm sure, compared to other opportunities of music to get placed, but I just like never stopped, even when it looked like things weren't working. So that's it, man. Just keep going. You guys are crushing it. I'm proud of everybody inside of the hub. I'm always excited to see the wins, and man, just thank you guys for rocking with me and just being a part of this community. I really appreciate everybody.
All right, thank you. So that's the message. Don't give up. Keep going. Consistency is key. For those of you who might be watching this YouTube video that aren't already in the Sync Producer Hub, if you are a music producer, a composer, a musician, an artist, anything like that, and you are just wondering how you can get your music heard and how you can might even be able to make some money from it, Sync is where it is at. There are over, like I was saying at the beginning of this interview, like anywhere from 100, 150 cues per show, like little pieces of music. And all you need is a few of your pieces of music to be in there, and you get placements. And then once you get placements, you start getting a good reputation, and you start, it has that visibility where you have that authority and that, all
Mm,
of that that goes with it. And then it just grows from there. It's a snowball. So I always like to use the analogy of bamboo. When you plant bamboo, it takes 4 years before it breaks the surface. But in the meantime, it's building this whole intricate, like, web of this entire root system, right? And that's what you do. You're building, you're building, you're building, you're building. But once it starts to grow, it'll shoot up like 4 to 5 feet in the first month, right? And that's just kind of how it goes. And the barrier to entry is consistency. There, if you can show up day after day, you are ahead of 99% of the people that are trying to do it with you. You
facts.
you don't have to be the best. You don't have to be the most talented. There are, people way more talented than, a lot of us, but it's all about consistency. So if you want to learn more, there's a link in the description of this video. So just click on it, check it out. Clint has put together this amazing program with all of these courses. But like he said, information you can find a little more easily with Chat GPTs and Google and all of that. But all of that information is laid out in a systematic way, like a system where you can just go from one module to the next, to the next, to the next, follow the steps. And if you follow the steps, if you're one of those people that shows up every day and you're consistent, it's going to happen for you. Right.
Yep.
So you don't have to search for information. It's all there right in a row. And then you have this amazing community of other producers and music composers to support you. And like you mentioned, like the future is ours. So we're all going to be working together to make this community grow. Any other final words before we end this one?
Nah, you just crushed it, bro. I can't follow up after that. That's awesome.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you for your time.